What's up, guys? It's Russo and Jordy with Backdoor Fantasy Sports, and we're here to talk some football. Week 8, Thursday night football. We've got the Vikings versus the Rams. We've got the return of Cooper Kupp and the return of TJ Hawkinson. This should be a good game. The Rams have desperately been missing Cooper Kupp, and the Vikings are just coming off that loss against the Lions, so they need to bounce back. They're going to really want to walk away with a win here because they're in a battle for the top of that division now with the Lions, taking the dub last week. So we should have a good Thursday night game. Jordy and I have just been on cloud nine with NBA back as well. So we got a lot to cover today. We're going to drop our NFL picks video, give the NBA board some time to develop a little bit more. And then we're going to go straight into the NBA video. So that'll be coming right after this video. And then we're going to jump right into our fantasy football podcast for our starts of the week to cover the rest of week 8.
So like the video so I can buy some coffee.
Yeah, we're going to be grinding. And we're both going on very little sleep right now.
Yes, it's going to be an interesting couple episodes we got coming here.
Yeah, just really busy schedule lately. So if you have not signed up for Underdog yet, it's Boosttober. So they're dropping a boost token into your Pick'em lobby every single day. But if you play DFS for basketball, every single NBA entry right now gets unlimited 20% boost tokens. So a lot to be excited about over on Underdog. I would definitely sign up if you haven't yet. Use code BACKDOOR, and they're going to give you up to $1,000 in bonus cash with your first deposit, plus a free pick to help you cash your first slip. And I swear pretty soon we're going to talk about what they're doing with streaks over there, because it is a lot of fun just on the side of our normal approach to DFS. But I just want to make sure that we have all the details together. But look into streaks. It's really cool. But I do want to give you guys a breakdown of how it works, and that'll be coming soon. But yeah, code Backdoor, get hooked up with all of those specials they're running right now over on Underdog. And there's a link in the description. If you go through that link, I don't even think you need the code, but if it asks you for a code, make sure you put that in so you can take full advantage of all of those bonuses you get. And then we're also partnered with Sleeper. So if you haven't tried Sleeper Picks yet, just use code BACKDOORFS. They're going to give you a 100% deposit match up to $100. I don't know about you guys, but they dropped a $25 protected play for NBA in my account. So I'm excited to use that soon too. But yeah, it's good to be on all these different platforms, because at the beginning of every season, we got promos for NFL. Now you can take advantage of all these promos on the different platforms for the start of NBA. So stoked that Sleeper dropped that protected play in there. So yeah, just code BACKDOORFS and you can jump on Sleeper Picks as well. All right, these are the plays I'm going to be going with. I'm taking Will Reichard, or Ricard, however you say that. He's a rookie and he's good.
Yeah.
So I'm going with his fantasy score on Prize Picks at 8.5. I'll explain why, but I'm just as confident in his kicking points. Oh, it looks like Underdog updated already. Let me make sure that this is still available. Let me pull this back up, because I'll tell you what I'm pivoting to. Yep, we still got his kicking points at 7.5. And then I'm going with Cooper Kupp, 9.5 receiving targets. We had taken this play when it was at 11.5, the game he got injured. And so I'll take it all day at 9.5 because he's fully healthy. He's off the injury report well before the game. So give me 9.5 targets for Cooper Kupp all day. And then what were we taking? I think I was taking his receptions. Sorry, I have to update my
it's still at 6.5 too.
6.5 receptions. I'll take that all day too on Underdog. So those are my two plays. What are you getting into, Jordy?
Yeah, mine are a little bit dicier, but I feel pretty good about them. I like Matthew Stafford to go over to 1 interception, so 0.5 interception, he needs to get 1. And I like Aaron Jones to get 1 rushing or receiving touchdown, so he needs to go over 0.5 as well.
All right. Well, let's start breaking the plays down.
Let's do it.
If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Forgot to mention that on our NBA video, we will be announcing the winner of yesterday's Discord drawing. So yeah, like the video if you don't mind, showing your boys a little bit of support here. It goes a long way. We really appreciate it. All right, who do I want to start with? Let's start with Cooper Kupp. I pulled him up. So first of all, his matchup is solid. 31st in receptions allowed to wide receivers. Kind of surprising. That's why Outlier is awesome, because when I think Vikings, I think very strong defense. And then I also think very strong offense. But I was kind of surprised to see that they're 31st in receptions allowed to wide receivers. So this one is really simple to me. I have it on his receptions right now, but I can break them both down on here. So he's played 2 games this year. First game, 14 receptions on 21 targets. Now, that 21 targets is what led us in week 2 to say, I'm going to take 11.5 targets in this game against the Cardinals, soft matchup. So we took it, and then by the half, he had been injured and he did not return. So he just was out the second half, but he was already at 6 targets for 4 receptions in that game. So they desperately need him. I think week 1 is a little bit more of an example of how they'd like to use him, because you can see he was kind of on the path to clear this line for us if he didn't get injured. And I think he actually played just a little bit of the third quarter. That's why we had to all go on and petition Prize Picks to reboot it. And Underdog, Prize Picks rebooted it right away. Underdog was slow too, and then they ended up hooking us all up and gave us a rescue there. But they were playing from behind by a lot. So we knew that if Cooper Kupp was healthy, he was going to come out and he was probably going to get 14 to 16 targets in that game at total. So I think that the pressure's on. I think that the Vikings are going to have to pay attention to Kyren Williams, though. So the Rams are going to find some way to get Cooper Kupp involved tonight, I believe. That's the narrative I'm going with. So yeah, 21 targets in his first game, 6 targets in the first half of his second game. I think that, like I said, when we took it in this, it was at 11.5 was the line for his targets, and we took that. We were confident about it. I was confident about it, and he was on path to hit it. Now, because he's coming back from injury, they're giving it to us at 9.5 targets on Prize Picks. So I'm taking that all day. I think that he's gonna, like, whether it's short yardage or further down the field, I think they're going to get the ball in Cooper Kupp's hands, and that'll open things up for Kyren. I think the two of them are going to have the ball in their hands most of the night. And then as far as the receptions go, he went for 4 in that first half. So I'm comfortable with 6.5 receptions as well for Cooper tonight. If we hop over to Daily Grind on the DFS Optimizer, they have his receptions as the best play on the board right now at 6.5. So take whichever of those you prefer. I still prefer the receiving targets, because I think if he catches the ball 7 times, he's going to be that. If he catches 7 out of 10, 70% catch rate is great. So if he cashes the receptions, I think that he'll cash the targets personally. So I'm taking the targets on Prize Picks, but the receptions are here. 52.44% odds to hit the over, -131. Just about every platform has this favor to go over. Actually, no, that's not totally true. Caesars has it at -113, DraftKings -114, but we got BetMGM at -120, DraftKings -130. So they do not have his targets listed on here right now. Let me just refresh and see. Maybe they threw it on there by now. Oh, I was gonna say my computer's taking a little while. Gotta type him back in. Either way, yeah, targets are still not on here. So go with your gut. We know the receptions are juiced to go over, and like I said, I think that if he catches 7, there's going to be 10 targets that were thrown at him for him to get to 70% catch rate. All right, so let's jump over here to Will. Where do I have him? Okay. So I like the fantasy score the best, but I'm happy with the kicking points. I just like the fantasy score a little bit better. But I'm happy to take the kicking points on underdog since we don't have the fantasy score. But at 8.5, if we look at the fantasy score, like I don't even have to switch it over. I'll just explain on here. So he's gone over this line 4 out of his last 5 games, and then the game against Green Bay, he missed it by one more kick. I guess one more extra point wouldn't have done it on fantasy score. It would have cashed the kicking points. One more field goal obviously would have, or one more longer field goal earlier. He only had one field goal, and it was a 40-yarder. Let's see. The reason I like the fantasy score, though, is he's been popping off from deep lately. If we see this game back here on October 6th against the Jets, he had 2 50-yard field goals. That would have cashed us automatically on the fantasy score, not on the kicking points. That would have just been 6 points for the kicking points, because kicking points, if you're unfamiliar with the difference between that and fantasy score, kicking points for field goals, they give you a flat rate of 3. Extra points, you get a flat rate of 1. Fantasy score, you get your flat rate of 1 if it's an extra point. But then for field goals, they give you, just like in fantasy football, they give you points based off of yardage. So between 40 yards and 49 yards, you get 4 points for that field goal. 50 yards plus, you get 5 points for that field goal. So that's why I want the fantasy score, because against the Jets, he had 2 50-yarders and a 40-yarder. So that's 14 points right there. And then against Detroit, he had 2 40-yarders and 1 50-yarder. So that's 13 points. So I just want they've been trusting him from distance. He's a rookie and he's been kicking great all year, but I think the confidence is really there. They're like, instead of like going for it on 4th down when they're within that distance, like, let's just put the points on the board because we trust this kid. So I'm going to be taking the fantasy score, but like I said, I still like the kicking points because this is his kicking points line right here. And he's been super consistent. One more extra point, a kick of any kind, would have cashed him 5 straight. And then the Rams are 20th in kicking points against. So their defense is not that great. It's like surprises you a little bit sometimes, kind of like the Cardinals defense, but teams that have any sort of competent offense are within the range of a field goal pretty regularly. The Rams will be somewhat decent sometimes at keeping them from converting so they can just get a touchdown. But there's a lot of opportunities for opposing teams if they're confident, or if their offense is competent at all. There's a lot of opportunities for them to at least put points on the board, getting a field goal. I think we're going to see that tonight. We've got a 48.5 point over under. Minnesota favored by 2.5, playing in LA. So they're expecting a lot of points on the board, at almost a 50-point total there. So I'm feeling good about this. Feeling good about both of these plays, which is kind of refreshing on a single game slate. So Daily Grind does not have his fantasy score up, but they have his kicking points, and they're favoring that to go over. 51.34% odds to hit the over, -124. And every single platform that has this at 7.5 is favoring it to go over. So I feel confident because I think, part of him hitting these field goals, he's not going to get to 8 points on extra points alone. He's going to hit a couple of field goals in there. I think those are going to be at least 40-yarders because they really trust this kid. So I like the fantasy score the best. I like the kicking points as well, though. If you guys want to check out this Daily Grind DFS optimizer, you can see how we use it. It's super helpful. Really helps us just like dial in our plays, helps us find plays. I can show you guys when you're just on the main screen, because you can type in specific players. I had Cooper Kupp in this one, but it just takes all the players that are on the board and it looks for value for you. So this is not just set for the Thursday night game, but you can set it in the team settings for just the teams you want to be looking at props for. But it does all the work for you, and it compares odds across like every platform out there, shows you what those odds are at on those different platforms, and it shows you what the line is on those different platforms. So you can kind of decide whether or not like, hey, this is actually a lower line on underdog, I'm going to go play it over there instead. So there's a lot of ways you can implement the DFS optimizer to help you cash more often. If you guys want to try it, use code backdoor at dgfantasy.com. You get 25% off for as long as you want to make your first subscription. They'll let you lock it in for a full year if you want to. So take advantage of that, lock it in through football and basketball. And that's going to cover it. Just Outlier real quick. I absolutely love Outlier. This app is killer. You see the different ways we break down all the different statistics for players, matchups, injury reports, insights. They give it all to you. And you can try this out free for a week. Just go through the link in the description and they'll let you give this a test run. All right, Jordy.
All right. Yeah. So to get into mine, let's see here. All right. Yeah. So really liking that Will Reichard play. It looks like they just removed my Aaron Jones touchdown play. Oh, it's back up. Okay. Prize Picks is being indecisive this morning. So, not Cooper Kupp. Matthew Stafford. Forgive me. My sleep schedule is jacked and I'm trying to fix it, so I'm running on a little minimal sleep here. Okay, so this Matthew Stafford interception over, I love this play. It's actually an EV plus play as well. I just think it's a pretty good value we're getting here. Minnesota is number 1 in forced interceptions to quarterbacks, so their defense has been amazing. We all know that. It's just been pretty wild how an organization like that, who has had a bottom 10 worst defense for the last couple of years, just all of a sudden flips a switch overnight, over the course of an off season, and now they're just a top 5 defense. It's really insane. But when it comes to passing, I mean, they're really strapping up. They've got some really good young cornerbacks, and they're number 1 in forced interceptions. So really tough matchup for Matthew Stafford here. Matthew Stafford has also been throwing a lot of interceptions because the amount of passes he's been having to make and trying to force really tough passes to try to get some really tough wins. It's been tough. This has been a really tough year for the Rams. They've had a lot of trials and a lot of errors, and I don't know if that's going to stop tonight because it's going to be a really tough game. I think they're going to be behind for a majority of this game too, so I think they're going to have to be throwing the ball a lot to get back into the race. That's why I kind of stayed away from Kyren Williams tonight. Obviously, I had to start him in fantasy, but I'm a little apprehensive because I think this matchup is just a little scary. It is Kyren Williams though, and I think he's gonna do fine. He's also getting a ton of volume to try to win these games, and that's why he's number 1 in yards lost. Even though he's doing really well, he does lose a lot of yards, and I think tonight is just going to be a tough matchup for him. So I stayed away from him, but I really like this interception prop for Matthew Stafford. I think we're getting a pretty awesome value here. Daily Grind does not like this. They have it juiced under. Honestly, yeah, it probably should be favoring the under, right? It's an interception prop. It's a pretty tough one to hit. So I'm not surprised that it's favored to go under, but honestly, this defense and the way Matthew Stafford's been getting a little lax with the ball sometimes, I think it's going to be a pretty, not a sure shot, but I feel pretty good about it because honestly, if you think about the game script for them tonight, he's going to be force feeding Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp's going to get his targets, he's going to get his receptions, but I think one of those is going to get a little squirrely and we might get an interception out of it. Whether it's him or someone else trying to catch the ball, you just never know how that could happen. So really feeling good about the interception prop tonight. I'm going to be taking that. And then this Aaron Jones anytime touchdown play, I feel really good about this one as well. It's a rushing or receiving touchdown. He hasn't been going totally crazy with the touchdowns this year. This year he's had 3 touchdowns out of 6 games, but this is a great matchup for him tonight, and I do think they're going to run the ball a lot to try to control the clock. And honestly, as good as Sam Darnold has looked, when games get close, he gets really shaky. So they've been really feeding Aaron Jones a lot and trying to get him to control the game with the run game. I think Ty Johnson's going to get work tonight too, but I think when it comes to goal line, I expect the Vikings to come out early and score quick. And I think they're going to give it to Aaron Jones at the goal line and let him punch it in because this Rams defense is 24th in touchdowns allowed and 20th in running backs. Or 20th to touchdowns allowed against running backs. So really soft matchup for Aaron Jones tonight, who's been playing really well. When you look at his rushing yards and what he's been doing, he's just been great this year. I mean, he has been a little shaky, a little hurt in some of these games, but today He is not on the injury report list at all, so he's good to go. It says TJ Hawkinson is still out, but it looks like I think he's going to play tonight. I don't think that's updated quite right, because a lot of his props are out. So just keep an eye on that too. Like, don't get baited into something with Hawkinson if he's not quite ready, but I think they said that he is going to play tonight. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that one. But regardless, I do like Aaron Jones. I think if anything, that's just going to free him up for more. 27th in rushing yards allowed, so soft rushing matchup too. Maybe he just breaks off a big run and cashes his touchdown nice and early. He could even catch one. So he's got great hands and he's a great receiving back. So I really like this one. If we look at this one on the Daily Grind Optimizer, let me pull this up. See if it can pop up real quick. It is juiced to go over, minus 125 at a 50.84% chance to go over. So feeling really good about Aaron Jones in this matchup, as well as Matthew Stafford throwing a pick for us. So that's going to be my 2 plays today. Obviously, if you guys don't like them, you don't have to take them. These are just what I'm feeling. And yeah, that's going to do it for me. And oh yeah, if you guys want to check out CHALKBOARD, CHALKBOARD is a lot of fun. They're another prop betting platform / daily fantasy app, just like PrizePicks and Underdog. But you can make so many different alt lines over there. Like they have, I mean, my gosh, I can only imagine what they have for Cooper Kupp and all these guys. But honestly, with Cooper Kupp's targets, if you can bump those up, or his receptions even at 6.5, I would be comfortable bumping those up to like 7 or 8.5. Honestly, if you're trying to go for like a YOLO type play, because he's that guy. I mean, he'll get 14, 15 targets in some of these games. So it wouldn't be surprising at all to see him go for like 10 receptions. So you could probably go over there and bump it up to like 7.5 receptions, 8.5 receptions, and get like a 3 times multiplier on that play. It's a lot of fun. So you could take like 3 times multiplier play like that and match it with one of the 6 discounts that they put out like every single day for a lot of their plays. I do know that they're running like a 0.5 passing yard discount, I think today, or I seen something on there earlier that there was like a free play of some sort. So you could go match like a YOLO type play like that, or just a safe play and cash an easy 2-man, or just make a giant YOLO slip and try to go for like the 100 and some odd X multipliers. That's how like much freedom you have over there to do what you want with their line. So it's a lot of fun. Definitely go check them out. There's a link in the description for that below. If you go check them out, make sure you use code BACKDOOR at checkout, and they'll match your first deposit up to $100, and they'll give you another free play to help you cash your first slip. So you could use the one that they're putting out tonight, and you'll have another one if you just sign up. So definitely go use code BACKDOOR over there at CHALKBOARD. And that's going to do it for me.
All right. Well, I double checked TJ Hawkinson. It is truly questionable. He's still got the questionable tag. It's not like Cooper Kupp where we got the green light early on, which is awesome for Cooper. Yeah. But for Hawkinson, they're saying that he's practiced limited all week, and they're really hoping that he's able to play, but they haven't just fully said that he's in or out yet. So
don't let the books get you.
No. And at the same time, if you're feeling wild, like you could, like I might, because his yards are so low, I might just like on a slip that I really don't care, I might just like throw him into like 1, because I think if he gets confirmed that he's in, I think those lines will go up. But don't be like me, because I take chances like that.
Well, I tell you what, if he's not playing, Jalen Naylor's lines are super low, so those will definitely go up. So I mean, that's even another one. Like Jalen Naylor at 25.5 receiving yards is ridiculously low. So
yeah, I double checked too. Cooper Kupp on CHALKBOARD. First of all, that 6.5 receptions line, CHALKBOARD thinks that's hidden because they're only giving us 1.5x for the 6.5. So that's what's nice about stuff like PrizePicks and Underdog. Yeah. Underdog's giving it to us at like 0.98, which is like basically their full multiplier. But but yeah, if you bump that up to 7.5 on CHALKBOARD, it's 2.45x, and then 8.5 is at 3.74x. So I'm definitely going to be maxing out that 8.5 on a couple slips tonight.
Heck yeah.
All right. If you guys want to come check out our Discord, we're having a lot of fun. It's just like a party in here every night again now that NBA is back. Shout out to Straw Hat James, bro. Really good to have you back. This dude rode with us all NBA season last year, and he contributes a lot. He's really good at DFS, and he came in and immediately got hot again. And the whole community benefits when we get some heavy hitters that are a part of the community. Bobby's always solid. I tailed this demon slip of Clay's last night, and the ones that I most expected did not hit, but the slip he put together, even if you only got 4 of 6, it still doubled your money. I was like, how do you manage to pull that off? Like, I guess it's because it was all demons, but usually it's like still like 4 of 6 is going to be like, a 0.5. So I was like, sweet. I tailed that play last night. But if you guys want to come join us, we have a lot of fun. We'll be super active in here again today, pretty much every day now that basketball's back. But we got football and basketball tonight, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Just go through the Patreon link in the description of the video. If you sign up through Patreon, they manage our subscriptions. So once you're signed up through Patreon, go into the Patreon settings. There's a connected apps tab in the menu bar, and then you just connect your Discord, and it'll unlock our channel for you. Make sure you introduce yourself. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be awkward. If you want to go chill, you don't want to talk to anybody, you just want to be there for the plays, that's totally fine too. But we have a really cool community here, so we're always happy when we get a new member in here. We just want to welcome you. Make sure you understand how to use the whole Discord properly. We have extra analysts in here as well. And I was going to say, I guess I'll just pull it up real quick. Come follow us on X. And we are on Instagram.
There's always something hilarious that pops up on your X.
we're on Instagram, and we're on TikTok as well. And Jordy and I have like a really crazy schedule right now with basketball back, but we are working on getting more content on our socials, getting more active. We have new plans for our socials, so come follow us. Just at Backdoor FS on all of these. And enjoy football tonight, guys. Good luck if you're playing fantasy football. If you have any fantasy football questions or anything, just drop us a comment and we will get back to you. We try to get back to everybody. But yeah, we will catch you in just a few for the NBA Picks episode.
All right, good luck, guys.